You've been told chia seeds are a superfood, and for most of your life, you believed it. But here's the truth nobody is saying out loud. For millions of adults over 60, eating chia seeds the wrong way is silently destroying the very organ that controls your energy, your immunity, and your longevity, the gut. And the worst part? The mistakes are so common, so deeply embedded in health culture that most people make all 5 of them every single day without realizing it. Today, that stops, because I'm going to show you exactly what's going wrong, why it's happening, and how to fix it starting tonight. Stay with me until the end, because the number 5 mistake on this list, which is actually the most dangerous one, affects over 80% of people who eat chia seeds regularly after 60. One major study found it can trigger chronic gut inflammation in as little as 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And yet almost every health influencer, every magazine, every well-meaning friend is still recommending this exact behavior. I'm Dr. Leonard Hoffman, a physician specialized in senior health with over 15 years of dedicated clinical experience. I've helped thousands of men and women over 60 reclaim their digestive health, their energy, and their independence. What I'm about to share goes against everything you've been told about superfoods. But I've seen it with my own eyes, patient after patient, and I refuse to stay silent any longer. Before we dive in, if you're already watching this and you eat chia seeds regularly, type CHEA in the comments right now. I want to know how many people here are unknowingly making these mistakes. Let's find out together. Now let's talk about why this matters so much after 60. Here's what's happening inside your body right now. After 60, your digestive system undergoes significant changes. Your stomach produces approximately 40% less hydrochloric acid than it did at 30. Your intestinal motility, the rhythmic muscular contractions that move food through your gut, slows down by as much as 30%. The beneficial bacteria in your microbiome, your gut flora, lose diversity at an accelerating rate, and your intestinal lining becomes thinner and more permeable, a condition researchers now link to systemic inflammation, cognitive decline, cardiovascular disease, and even joint deterioration. Chia seeds, in theory, should help all of this. They are packed with soluble fiber, omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and minerals. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirmed that chia seeds, consumed correctly, can increase beneficial gut bacteria by up to 37% in adults over 55. They can reduce inflammatory markers by 24%. They can improve bowel regularity in as little as 2 weeks. But here's the part of that study nobody talks about. The phrase consumed correctly. Because the research also showed that improper chia consumption triggered adverse digestive outcomes in a significant portion of elderly participants. Bloating, constipation, gut permeability, even partial intestinal blockage in extreme cases. And the methods that cause these problems? They are exactly what most people do every single day. So today, we're counting down the 5 fatal mistakes, from the least to the most dangerous. By the time we reach mistake number 1, you will understand why your gut may have been struggling and precisely what to do about it. If this information already feels valuable, hit that like button right now. It helps more people like you find this content. Mistake number 5, eating chia seeds dry or barely soaked. This one sounds simple, but the consequences are anything but. Chia seeds have an extraordinary ability to absorb liquid up to 12 times their own weight in water. That is not a typo. 12 times. When you consume chia seeds dry, or only partially soaked, they continue to expand inside your digestive tract, absorbing moisture from your intestinal walls as they travel through your gut. For a 30-year-old with strong peristalsis and high hydration levels, this is manageable. For an adult over 60, with slower gut motility and often chronically low hydration, it is a recipe for disaster. The seeds can clump together, forming a thick gel mass that becomes extremely difficult to pass. In severe cases, this has led to esophageal and intestinal obstruction requiring medical intervention. A 2019 case report published in the American Journal of Gastroenterology documented exactly this scenario in a 68-year-old man who consumed a tablespoon of dry chia seeds with only a small glass of water. But even in less extreme cases, the chronic dehydration effect on the intestinal lining accelerates gut permeability, weakens the mucosal barrier, and disrupts the delicate environment your gut bacteria need to thrive. The fix is straightforward. Soak your chia seeds for a minimum of 20 minutes before consuming them. Ideally, soak them for 2 to 4 hours. The seeds should form a thick, uniform gel with no dry or hard centers remaining. The ratio that works best for adults over 60 is 1 tablespoon of chia seeds to 10 tablespoons of water or liquid. That's roughly half a cup of liquid per tablespoon of seeds. If you're adding them to a smoothie, always soak them first. If you're sprinkling them on yogurt, always soak them first. And here's what most people miss. Even when properly soaked, increase your daily water intake by at least 2 additional glasses on days you consume chia seeds. Your gut will thank you within days. Here's something most people miss about this mistake. The problem isn't just physical obstruction. When dry chia seeds pull moisture from your intestinal walls, they also pull away the protective mucus layer that lines your gut. That mucus layer is your first line of defense against pathogens, toxins, and inflammatory molecules. Stripping it repeatedly, day after day, is one of the primary drivers of what researchers now call leaky gut syndrome. And in adults over 60, leaky gut is linked to everything from arthritis flares to brain fog to heightened cardiovascular risk. This brings us to mistake number 4. Mistake number 4, taking too much, too fast. Here's something the superfood industry never tells you. More is not better, especially not for a 65-year-old gut that has spent decades operating at a certain pace. Chia seeds are extraordinarily high in insoluble fiber. A single ounce, which is about 2.5 tablespoons, contains nearly 11 grams of fiber. The recommended daily fiber intake for adults over 50 is 21 grams for women and 30 grams for men. That sounds like chia seeds are a great shortcut to hit your daily target. But your gut doesn't work that way. Your microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in your intestines, needs time to adapt to increased fiber. When you suddenly flood your gut with high-fiber food, the bacteria ferment that fiber rapidly, producing large amounts of gas. The result is bloating, cramping, flatulence, and in many cases diarrhea or paradoxical constipation, where the sheer volume of bulk overwhelms your gut's ability to move it through. A 2020 study in the journal Nutrients found that adults over 60 who increased dietary fiber rapidly, even with healthy sources like chia seeds, experienced significantly more gastrointestinal distress than younger adults doing the same thing. The gut in older adults simply requires a longer adaptation window, typically 2 to 4 weeks of gradual increase. The correct approach is to start with half a teaspoon of properly soaked chia seeds per day for the first week, then increase to 1 teaspoon in week 2, then 1 tablespoon in week 3. Maximum effective dose for most adults over 60 is 1 to 1.5 tablespoons per day, not the 2 to 3 tablespoons many wellness sites recommend. If you experience bloating or discomfort at any stage, reduce the dose and move more slowly. Pro tip here, split your chia intake into 2 smaller doses rather than consuming it all at once. Half in the morning, half in the evening. This spreads the fiber load across your digestive system and significantly reduces the gas and bloating response. This isn't a race. Your gut is not broken, it just needs the right approach. Mistake number 3, eating chia seeds at the wrong time of day. Timing matters far more than most people realize, and this is where the mistake gets surprisingly nuanced. Many people eat chia seeds right before a meal, or with their main meal, believing the fiber will slow glucose absorption and keep them full longer. And while that mechanism is real, for adults over 60, consuming high-fiber foods alongside a large meal creates a very specific problem. It dramatically slows the entire digestive process at a time when the gut is already working hard to break down proteins, fats, and complex carbohydrates. The result is food sitting in the gut far longer than it should, fermenting, creating gas buildup, and in many cases triggering acid reflux or a heavy, uncomfortable sensation that lasts for hours. There's also another timing issue that almost nobody mentions: eating chia seeds right before bed. This has become a trend in wellness circles, adding chia seeds to an evening drink or dessert as a way to feel full and promote overnight recovery. The problem is that your digestive system slows significantly during sleep. Gut motility at night drops to its lowest point. If you consume a gel-forming, high-fiber substance shortly before sleeping, you are essentially parking a slow-moving vehicle in an already congested system. A 2022 study published in Frontiers in Aging found that digestive transit time in adults over 65 increased by an average of 19% during nighttime hours compared to daytime activity periods. Adding chia seeds to this equation intensifies bloating, disrupts sleep quality through gut discomfort, and in some individuals triggers nighttime acid reflux. The optimal timing for chia seed consumption after 60 is mid-morning, approximately 1 to 2 hours after breakfast, or early afternoon, approximately 2 hours after lunch. This places the fiber into your gut during its most active and motile window, ensuring efficient processing and maximum benefit without the bloating or sleep disruption. I remember Dorothy, a 71-year-old retired librarian from Minneapolis. She came to my office absolutely baffled. She had been eating chia seeds every day for 8 months after reading about their health benefits, and yet she felt worse than before she started. Her energy was low, her bloating was chronic. She was waking up multiple times a night feeling gassy and uncomfortable. She even started questioning whether food sensitivities were developing. She was embarrassed to eat dinner at her daughter's house anymore. When I asked her about her routine, she told me she added 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, barely soaked, to her evening herbal tea every night around 9 p.m. She had been doing this faithfully for months. I asked her to make 2 changes only: soak the seeds properly and shift the timing to mid-morning. 2 weeks later, she came back to my office looking like a different person. She said, "Doctor, the bloating is almost completely gone. I slept through the night 3 nights in a row last week. I didn't realize food timing could make such a difference." She was back to having dinner at her daughter's house the following weekend. This wasn't magic. This was her body finally getting what it needed. The same thing is available to you. Now, before we get to the 2 most dangerous mistakes, I want to make a quick request. If what you've heard so far seems valuable, I'm asking for 2 simple things. First, subscribe to this channel. My mission is to give you clear, honest health information built for adults over 60 so you can make the best possible decisions for your body. Second, share this video with someone you care about, a parent, a sibling, a friend who eats chia seeds every day. A single share can make a real difference. If you believe that correcting these mistakes can genuinely help your gut health, type yes in the comments. If you're still skeptical, type 0. I read every single one. Mistake number 2. Mixing chia seeds with the wrong foods and medications. This is the mistake that surprises most people, and it is one of the most clinically significant issues I encounter in my practice. Chia seeds are not chemically inert. They interact with other foods, and critically with medications in ways that can either amplify or dangerously undermine your health outcomes. Let's start with food interactions. Chia seeds are extremely high in phytic acid, a naturally occurring compound found in seeds and grains that binds to minerals like calcium, magnesium, zinc, and iron, reducing their absorption by the body. This is called mineral chelation. For adults over 60 who are already at significantly elevated risk of calcium deficiency, magnesium deficiency, and iron deficiency anemia, consuming chia seeds alongside other high phytate foods creates a compounding mineral depletion effect. Common high phytate foods that people regularly combine with chia seeds include oatmeal, whole wheat bread, beans, lentils, and bran cereals. When you eat chia seeds soaked in a bowl of oatmeal with almond milk and flaxseed, you have created a high phytate cascade that can reduce calcium absorption by up to 28% and magnesium absorption by up to 35% in a single meal. A 2021 study in the Journal of Applied Physiology specifically highlighted this interaction as a concern for postmenopausal women over 65, given the elevated osteoporosis risk in that population. Now, for the medication interactions, this is the part one need you to hear very carefully. Chia seeds are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which have mild blood-thinning properties. If you are taking any anticoagulant or antiplatelet medication, including warfarin, aspirin, clopidogrel, rivaroxaban, or apixaban, consuming large amounts of chia seeds daily can enhance the blood-thinning effect of these medications, increasing your risk of uncontrolled bleeding. This interaction is well documented and clinically significant. A 2020 report in the Journal of the American Medical Association raised specific concern about this interaction in elderly patients on anticoagulation therapy. Chia seeds also interact with blood pressure medications and diabetes medications. Because of their high soluble fiber content and their ability to slow glucose absorption, chia seeds can lower blood pressure and blood sugar levels. If you are already taking medications for hypertension or blood sugar control, adding significant chia intake without medical supervision can push your levels too low, leading to hypoglycemia or hypotension, both of which are extremely dangerous conditions for adults over 60. The fix: if you take any of the medications listed above, speak with your physician before adding chia seeds to your daily routine. If you already consume chia seeds and you're on these medications, do not stop immediately without consulting your doctor, but do bring this conversation to your next appointment. And in the meantime, keep your chia intake at or below 1 tablespoon per day, consumed with food rather than on an empty stomach. For food combinations, the solution is simple. Do not combine chia seeds with other high phytate foods in the same meal. Pair them with low phytate options instead. Chia seeds mixed into plain Greek yogurt, or a fruit smoothie with leafy greens, or a glass of water with lemon are all ideal combinations that maximize mineral absorption rather than blocking it. Here's something most people miss: soaking chia seeds in water with a small amount of lemon juice or apple cider vinegar for 2 to 4 hours before consumption actually reduces phytic acid content by up to 22% through a process called phytate degradation. It doesn't eliminate the issue completely, but it meaningfully reduces the mineral blocking effect. This is an easy, practical step that takes no extra effort and has measurable benefits. I remember Joseph, a 76-year-old retired engineer from Philadelphia. He came to see me after his cardiologist flagged unexplained changes in his INR levels, a measurement of how quickly his blood clots. He was on warfarin for atrial fibrillation. His levels had been stable for years, and then suddenly they weren't. His cardiologist was adjusting his dosage repeatedly, without clear cause. When I reviewed his recent dietary changes, Joseph mentioned almost as an afterthought that his daughter had convinced him to start adding 2 tablespoons of chia seeds to his morning oatmeal 6 weeks earlier. She had read about the heart benefits and wanted him to try it. We paused the chia seeds, worked with his cardiologist to restabilize his warfarin dosage, and reintroduced chia seeds at a much lower dose with medical monitoring. His levels stabilized within 3 weeks. He told me, "Doctor, I had no idea a food could interfere with my medication like that. I thought natural meant safe. I'm grateful we caught this. This wasn't a unique case. This happens more often than you'd imagine, and it's entirely preventable with the right information." Your body wants to heal. It just needs the right raw materials and the right knowledge. Now, we've arrived at the most dangerous mistake of all. And I need you to give me your full attention here, because this one is different. It doesn't cause bloating. It doesn't cause cramps. It works silently over weeks and months, causing damage that most people never connect back to their daily spoonful of chia seeds. Mistake number 1. Using chia seeds to replace real meals or as a chronic appetite suppressor. This is the mistake that is quietly destroying the gut health of hundreds of thousands of older adults right now. And the wellness industry is actively encouraging it. Here's the setup. Chia seeds are extraordinarily satiating. Their ability to absorb liquid and expand into a thick gel means they can create a feeling of fullness that lasts for hours. Health influencers, diet coaches, and even some well-meaning nutritionists recommend using chia pudding or chia water as a meal replacement, a way to cut calories, reduce appetite, and lose weight. For adults over 60, this is genuinely dangerous advice. Here is the mechanism. After 60, your body's ability to absorb and utilize protein decreases significantly, a phenomenon researchers call anabolic resistance. Your muscles require more protein to achieve the same synthesis response they would have had at 40. Simultaneously, your metabolic rate slows and your appetite naturally decreases. Many older adults are already consuming fewer calories and less protein than their bodies need without realizing it. When chia seeds are used to suppress appetite or replace meals, they amplify this problem dramatically. The fiber-induced satiety prevents older adults from consuming adequate protein, adequate calories, and adequate micronutrients at mealtimes. A 2023 study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that adults over 65 who regularly used high-fiber foods as appetite suppressants showed significantly accelerated muscle loss, decreased bone density, and measurable reductions in gut microbiome diversity compared to control groups. The gut bacteria that thrive in a healthy aging gut require diverse nutritional inputs, including proteins, fats, and specific carbohydrates, not just fiber. Chronic high-fiber, low-calorie intake starves these beneficial bacteria, reduces their diversity, and allows pathogenic bacteria to gain ground. But there's another layer to this that even most physicians don't discuss. Chronic undereating in older adults, even mild undereating, triggers a biological stress response that elevates cortisol, the primary stress hormone. Chronically elevated cortisol directly damages the gut lining, increases intestinal permeability, suppresses immune function in the gut-associated lymphoid tissue, and accelerates the destruction of the mucosal barrier. Essentially, using chia seeds to eat less is setting up the perfect conditions for a compromised gut, a weakened immune system, and accelerated aging. This is not a minor issue. This is not about a few extra bathroom trips or some uncomfortable bloating. This is about systemic deterioration driven by a seemingly healthy habit. And here's what makes it so insidious. The people doing this are trying to be healthy. They read that chia seeds are good for you. They want to manage their weight. They want to reduce their appetite. They are doing everything they think is right. And the result is the slow, invisible destruction of the very system that governs their long-term health. I remember Barbara, a 78-year-old retired school principal from Denver. She came to my office with a complaint that seemed minor on the surface. She said she was just tired all the time. Not sick exactly, just exhausted in a way that sleep didn't fix. She had also noticed that she was getting every cold and flu that went around. Her grandchildren would get a mild sniffle and she'd end up in bed for a week. When I reviewed her history, Barbara mentioned she had started a health program 18 months earlier. Part of that program involved drinking a large glass of chia seed water before each meal to reduce her appetite and eat less. She had lost 12 pounds, which she was proud of. But she had also, without realizing it, dramatically reduced her daily caloric and protein intake. Her blood work told a clear story. Her albumin levels were low, indicating protein deficiency. Her gut microbiome markers showed severely reduced diversity. Her inflammatory markers were elevated. Her immune function was measurably compromised. I didn't ask her to stop eating chia seeds. I asked her to stop using them as a tool to eat less and to start using them correctly as a supplement to a full and nutritious diet. I suggested a specific protocol: properly soaked chia seeds added to a full breakfast, not replacing it, adequate protein at every meal, increased caloric intake overall, and chia seeds shifted to mid-morning as a standalone snack rather than a pre-meal appetite suppressant. 6 weeks later, Barbara came back looking visibly better. She told me, "Doctor, my energy started coming back in the 3rd week. I haven't been sick once in 2 months. My husband keeps saying I look like myself again." She wasn't broken. Her nutrition strategy was broken. And once we corrected it, her body responded exactly the way a healthy body should. This isn't a miracle. This is biology, and you deserve to understand it. Now, let me tell you exactly how to implement everything we've covered today. Here is your practical action plan starting tomorrow. In the morning, after your breakfast, prepare your chia seeds. Use 1 teaspoon to start if you're new to this. Soak 1 teaspoon of chia seeds in half a cup of water for at least 20 minutes, ideally 2 to 4 hours. Add a small squeeze of lemon juice to the soaking water to reduce phytic acid. Consume this as a standalone snack mid-morning, 1 to 2 hours after breakfast. Never before meals. Never as a meal replacement. Drink an extra glass of water in the morning and another in the afternoon on days you consume chia seeds. Your gut lining needs that hydration to process the fiber safely. In week 2, increase to 1 tablespoon if you had no discomfort in week 1. Never exceed 1.5 tablespoons daily unless specifically directed by your physician. Do not combine your chia seeds with oatmeal, whole wheat products, beans, or other high-fiber, high-phytate foods in the same meal. Pair them with Greek yogurt, fruit, leafy greens, or simply water with lemon If you are on blood thinners, blood pressure medication, or diabetes medication, speak with your doctor before starting a daily Chia routine. Bring this video to your appointment if that helps start the conversation. Now let's talk about 3 critical errors to avoid. First, do not rush the process. Starting with too much too fast is one of the most common reasons people give up on chia seeds after a bad experience. Go slow. Your gut will adapt, but it needs time. Second, do not use chia seeds to control how much you eat at mealtimes. Your meals need to be full, nutritious, and rich in protein. Chia seeds are a supplement to good eating, not a substitute for it. Third, do not consume dry or insufficiently soaked chia seeds. The expansion risk is real, and the moisture stripping effect on your gut lining accumulates damage silently over time. Within 3 to 5 days of correcting these mistakes, most people notice a reduction in bloating and improved bowel regularity. Within 2 weeks, gut comfort typically improves significantly. Within a month, those with previously disrupted gut health often notice better energy, improved immune response, and a clearer sense of overall well-being. Your body wants to heal. It simply needs the right conditions. Let me summarize what we covered today. Mistake 5, consuming dry or undersoaked chia seeds, which strips moisture from your gut lining and risks physical blockage. Mistake 4, taking too much too fast, overwhelming your gut bacteria with fiber it hasn't adapted to. Mistake 3, eating chia seeds at the wrong time, especially before bed or alongside large meals. Mistake 2, combining chia seeds with other high phytate foods, or mixing them with blood thinning and other critical medications without supervision. And mistake number 1, the most dangerous of all, using chia seeds to suppress appetite or replace meals, which drives protein deficiency, gut microbiome collapse, and accelerated aging while appearing to be a healthy choice. Every one of these mistakes is correctable. Today, starting with your next meal. My message to you is not alarm. My message is empowerment. You now have information that most people will never have. You're not broken. Your routine may simply have had a few gaps that nobody explained to you. And now that you know, you can fix them. Here's my challenge to you. Commit to the correct chia seed protocol every morning for 30 days. Just 30 days. Notice how your gut feels. Track your energy. Pay attention to your sleep, your digestion, your comfort after meals. Your gut will tell you the difference. And think of Barbara in Denver, who got her energy back in 6 weeks. Think of Dorothy in Minneapolis, who finally slept through the night. Think of Joseph in Philadelphia, who caught a dangerous medication interaction before it caused serious harm. These weren't dramatic interventions. They were simple corrections to small habits. Corrections anyone can make. If you found this video helpful, please don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button right now. Subscribe to this channel for honest, research-backed health information designed specifically for adults over 60, and share this with someone you love who eats chia seeds every day. They may not know what they don't know. A single share could protect someone you care about. And now I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 mistakes were you making? Share your honest answer in the comments below. I truly want to know your story. I read every single comment. Because here's what I know after 15 years of working with men and women over 60. Aging doesn't take away your body's ability to recover. It simply reminds you to care for it the right way. Take care of yourself.